Yeah.
Would have been for me.
Welcome. All right. All right. Welcome to Keyboard Warriors, presented by CrossMovement.com. I'm your host, Eddie Law, in the middle of eating. And as always, we got the main man from Dayton, Ohio, Fred Kirby. What's up, dude?
What's happening, fellas? How are y'all feeling tonight?
Good, man. And the guy we call Dr. Feelgood, Aaron Robbins from Standing Bang Radio. Both of these guys from Standing Bang Radio. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing real good. I'm telling the people who said we were late that we are not late. Hold on.
Because they're bitching.
This is a very fucking professional show they just tuned into. So
look, man, it's real life.
I tell people that this is the opposite of Stand and Bang.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, you just reminded me I need to tweet this shit out.
There we
go.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Tweet it.
You know that we're the only three motherfuckers on the planet who give a shit about this show. If you don't tell everybody else that it's happening, nobody will listen. And then you got Eddie, fucking low-key tuna fish on the show. And Fred in a fucking full-on white trash wife beater.
Hey, it's fucking hot here in Dayton tonight, boys. It's fucking sweltering. I don't know if it's...
What is sweltering in Ohio? What's the temperature?
That's a big word for you, Fredo.
Hey, go fuck yourself. It's fucking 84 degrees, and it was fucking like 22 yesterday. Maybe it's still fucking ice nips up in the upper peninsula of Michigan, Dr. Feelgood, but it's fucking roasting.
It was fucking 78 degrees here today.
Well, where's your fucking tank top at? You gotta be burning up.
Nope, I'm always cool.
Hey, homie, it was 95 degrees in Arizona today, okay? But it's supposed to be hot here. It's supposed to be like miserable right now. But I will take 4 months of miserable weather for the rest of it being good.
Hey!
What?
Tune in to hear the fucking weather. Let's talk about MMA, you assholes.
All right. Segueing. Misery.
Weather.
Can we please just start with the misery this weekend? The fight.
All right, let's go ahead and segueing from shitty weather to more misery. Manny Pacquiao against Mayweather. Obviously, everyone knows what happened with that. First of all, I didn't pay for that shit. Fred, did you pay for that?
No, thank God I didn't pay for it. I went to somebody else's house to watch that shit.
And Mr. Robbins, I know you didn't even watch it.
I've watched parts of it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. What's the point? I amazed my casual combat sports friends because I said, get this, I'm going to go watch Avengers with my son, but this is how the fight's going to go down. For the first 5 or 6, it'll be about even or Pacquiao will be winning. Then in about 6 or 7, Mayweather will catch up and run away with every single round after that. They thought I was like some sort of genius. I was like, no, it's happened 48 times. You know, obviously he's had, 24 technical knockouts and 4 regular knockouts or something like that. But I mean, every other fight, and especially the ones in recent history, this was just a carbon copy of every single one of Floyd Mayweather's performances. So all the fucking whiny cunts out there, oh, he just held and he ran. Is this the first fight you've ever watched with him? He's 47-0 for a reason. He's a defensive boxer. He's not Mike Tyson. This is exactly what everybody expected. This is exactly the fight, and it's not Mayweather's fault. Oh, I know you fuckers are surprised to hear that from me because you thought that I would be Heitor Emelianenko and shitting all over Mayweather. No, he does what he always fucking does. This was on Pacquiao to do something different, to do what 47 other men couldn't do, and Pacquiao didn't get it done. Okay, maybe he doesn't understand English and he couldn't read the medical release. Maybe he went in there with a full shoulder tear or whatever's going on now. But the fact remains is that it was a predictable, boring fight, just like the last 3 years of fights that we've had from Floyd Mayweather. So all of you people that paid $100 for the pay-per-view and all of you shameful fucking human beings who actually paid to be there and gave that man $180 million, shame on you fuckers. On another note, Avengers was awesome.
You know what's funny? I just saw the first one the other day. I'm actually gonna go see the second one in a couple days here. So I'm hoping you're right. All right, Fred, you watched the whole fight. What'd you think of that shit?
I mean, it did suck. It was a really fucking shitty fight. For all the fucking hype that went into it, it was a major fucking letdown. And I'll give you this, Aaron. You basically hit the nail on the head. That is what Floyd does. He's a defensive technical boxer. Nobody should have been surprised that it wasn't a fucking barn burner of a fight. But I'll say this, fuck you, Floyd. I will never, not only will I not buy the fucking pay-per-view, but I am going to fucking actively fucking protest it. On no way, shape, or form should anybody buy a fucking Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view. Because I tell you what, whereas technical brilliance and all of his fucking footwork and his head movement and all that shit's cute if you're a fucking great big boxing fan, that's fine. But for the casual fan, which fucking 90% of the world is, and 90% of the people who bought that fight were casual fans, it fucking sucked. I went to a fucking house full of casual fans. None of those fucking people there were like fucking sweet science experts. None of them were fucking getting their pussies wet when fucking Floyd was running around. Everybody's going, what the fuck? This is stupid. And the problem with that is a lot of them were new fans. Had it been an okay fight, you might have generated some fucking actual new boxing fans. But they fucking got all those eyeballs on them. They got the world to pay attention. And then they both stunk the place up. Pacquiao sure as shit should have went for it in the later rounds. And fuck Floyd, too. I'm getting tired of Floyd getting his pass for just he's technical. And he is, but fuck that, man. You're at the point now in your career where you owe it to the fans to fucking put on a show for us, man. Knock fucking Pacquiao out. You know, you talk all that fucking mouth about how great you are. You're boring as fuck. That's what you are. Floyd probably couldn't finish me. He could beat my ass. He could win on points, but he probably couldn't finish me, Jack. Fuck him.
Nah, he whipped your ass. He knocked you right the fuck out.
He finishes me easily.
Right the fuck out.
He finishes me easily. But he does not finish anybody else who actually trains to fucking box.
No, but see, the crazy thing to me is that immediately after a garbage performance, arguably a garbage performance, and especially for casuals, I used to watch a lot of boxing back in the day. Then I realized that I like real fights, so I changed over to MMA. But for all of the casuals and all of the hardcore and the sweet science, like you were saying, and all this, what amazes me is in the same breath, everybody's like, biggest letdown of the century. Who's Floyd fighting next? It's like, you fucking lemmings. Unbelievable. That's all I've ever heard. Now, for in the last, 72 hours or whatever, it's gone from Floyd sucks, Pacquiao sucks, to now this Amir cat is going to be his last fight, hopefully. And you know it won't be, because now he already announced that he would give Manny Pacquiao the rematch, just like Ed predicted that no matter which way that this fight went, there would be a rematch for one reason or another.
Jesus.
And
Here
why?
we go.
Because what did it do? Bring in $500 million? Of course. Why not? Hey, Fred, I've told you this how many times. Never underestimate the stupidity of human beings. And this shows it more clearly than anything.
And yeah, here's the thing too. He's what I never understood. Because when I went on Twitter right after the fight, no, the day after, because I mean the rest of that night it was just hatred on there, fucking like, oh, that was boring as shit. I mean they were telling the truth. It was boring to the casual fan, but there's a group of like boxing elitists that were like, oh, well, no, that's boxing. That's what it is. That's boxing. And I'm just like, dude, I mean, if that's what you like, I mean, go ahead, go watch Phil Davis against Ryan Bader. That'll be more entertaining than shit. You know?
Can they sell a rematch? Do you think a rematch sells?
They're already working on it. Pacquiao asked for one, and Pacquiao asked for one, and Floyd Mayweather is already talking about he's going to give it to him. In fact, Floyd Mayweather did it by tweeting or texting Stephen A. Smith, who's that loudmouth on First Take on ESPN. And of course, Stephen A. Smith, being who he is, yells it out loud on television going, oh, Floyd Mayweather just texted me saying that he'll give Manny Pacquiao the rematch. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, because I want to fucking see that.
You know yeah, right. Like, who gives a, who, like, I don't know. I guess I just meant, do you think they could actually sell that to the public again?
Aaron, yeah, they can.
Most people,
yeah, they can.
They're fucking morons. Are people that fucking, would motherfuckers really pay for that shit again? Really?
George Bush Jr. was president twice, son. Obama was president twice. They can sell anything to anybody.
All right with the politics, Eddie. Chill out. We don't want to kill everybody.
Let me find a better thing.
You just desecrated the Republicans and the Democrats.
Fuck them all, dude. I don't give a shit.
So let's segue into something else. And for those boxing elitists, all 7 of you can go fuck yourself.
Real quick. I want to ask one thing.
No more.
One thing. No, just one. I'm Floyd. All right. You think the fact that Floyd beat the crap out of his kid's mom, all right? Because there's been a lot of talk made. Oh, relax. There's been a lot of talk made about the fact that he didn't deserve to do shit because he beat the crap out of his mom. In fact, there's a statement that his son fucking wrote out and signed for the cops about what exactly he witnessed from Mayweather beating his wife for his chick. All right. Do you think? I mean, what is your take on that?
John Jones.
That's all speculation and allegation, and I have no comment at this time.
Now, Jesus Christ, you sound like he was involved. I'll fucking comment on it. That's bullshit, Jack. John Jones just got suspended indefinitely. He got motherfucking stripped of his title. That motherfucker might go to the joint, Jack. Like, John Jones is getting his ass raked over the coals. And don't get me wrong, he fucked up in a major way. But Floyd flat hit a broad with his hands. And he's one of the most dangerous men on planet Earth with his motherfucking hands. He should be locked the fuck up.
She probably threw her fucking heels at him. He was like, woo, 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 counterpunching and shit. All right. That's stupid.
I bet you didn't finish her.
I bet not. Fucking. Real quick.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. He's the only man who excites women more than GSP, because he's like, ladies, I can go for 60 minutes and never finish.
Hey, do you think that they made a big deal about Rachel Nichols and Michelle Beadle getting their fucking credentials pulled? They made a big deal out of that. I didn't think it was a huge deal. I thought it was you know, what do you expect from Floyd Mayweather, right? But Aaron, what do you think of that as far as a promotion being able to pull credentials last second like that?
I think it's their prerogative. Here's the thing, and I read a few articles about this. And all bullshit aside, you know, I don't know the guy personally. He does seem kind of like a fucking dick. But he is a Las Vegas institution. And you guys know, man, in so many instances, money talks and bullshit walks. How much money does that dude bring into that state, to that city?
No doubt.
Yeah, man, he's the biggest draw for the promotion. If he doesn't want two bitches asking him fucking crazy questions about him being a wife beater, yeah, I see him pulling the credentials real quick. I mean, shit, even Dana White has been known to pull fucking people's credentials real quick if they start asking the same annoying or some controversial bullshit, man. That's why they have sock puppets like Ariel Helwani and Karen Bryant doing all of their interviews. Because, yeah, Ariel Helwani, fuck you. It's because they can control the questions and the answers. You know what I mean? And I'm sure we'll get to this with John Jones' manager and stuff like that. But did you see that phoned-in bullshit canned ham interview? I mean, fuck, man. Give me 15 minutes with that guy, and he'll either A, tell me some awesome shit, tell me to go get fucked or hang up on me, but I'm not going to softball him every fucking question to get the exact answer that he wants to give. That's not journalism. That's just being a fucking corporate shill.
Exactly. And real quick, we're actually going to get into that right now, but real quick, Fred, do you think pulling credentials off a journalist? Because look, Rachel Nichols, legit journalist. Michelle Beadle, but you know, pulling a journalist credentials kind of fucked up. What do you think about that? Does that bother you at all? Because everyone else on media, and if you look on Twitter, everybody got upset. That was media. Anyone that's not media was like, who cares?
Well, that makes sense, right? I mean, I guess if you're part of the media, you're one of the people that are going to get upset because it affects you directly. But on the outside looking in, like Aaron said, I mean, listen, it depends on what part of the ship you're on. If you're in the media, you look at this like, you know, we would say that's some bullshit, right? If we owned and ran fight promotions, we'd go, yeah, we get it, Jack. Loudmouth, lippy broad, asking shit we don't want to answer. Put her out. There's fucking 9,000 other reporters coming in. Why the fuck would we want you here if you're going to be talking shit? You know, that's the thing. Just to kind of segue back to what Dude said about John Jones' manager. John Jones' manager would never be on our show because he would never get that like those questions are lined up for them for that reason, because that's the way those fuckers play ball. And they know that. So they know if these broads are going to come in and throw some loopy shit at this motherfucker in the middle of a massive press conference, he puts the kibosh on that shit before it even happens. Is it right? No. Is it the way shit goes? You bet your fucking ass.
Look, if you don't want two legit reporters, or at least 1.5 legit reporters asking you questions about beating your wife, don't fucking do it. All right, but moving on to John Jones. If you haven't heard the interview on Helwani's show, he had John Jones, what's his name, Pacquiao, what his name is? His manager had him on, and Pacquiao went off. And I mean, look, you can hate Kawa, he's a douche, he's a big time douche, right? But you gotta, and I said it not to say anything, guys, in case you guys want to get him, but He went on and basically started the PR, the foundation of the PR that's going to be John Jones' return. Oh, we don't know if he's going to fight again. I don't think you should have stripped him of the title. Blah, 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 blah. You guys heard the interview, right? What'd you think of that, Aaron? Of what he said, anyway.
Well, I don't know, man. It's like I said, it was obviously canned, prefabricated bullshit because it was all kind of like backhanded stuff. You know what I mean? It's 50-50 that he'll come back. But if he wants to come back, it'll be because John Jones wants to come back. Not because I want him to or you want him to, Ariel Helwani. It won't be because he's working on anything bad in his life and he finally got over that cocaine. It's because he's the greatest athlete ever and he'll decide what he wants to do because he can fucking fly and he's got a 19-inch cock and all this shit. I mean, at the same time where he's going on about how, we don't know and he's the greatest talent, what he's telling us is, yeah, when he stops fucking up, he'll be back. Dana White said the same thing. Okay, yeah, we stripped him indefinitely. When is the suspension over? When he's done fucking up. So what his manager was doing is saying, look, just be patient. We don't know how long it's going to take John to stop fucking up. Right now, he don't know if he wants to stop fucking up. That's what I got out of it. Is I talked with John Jones and he said, you know what? I'm still digging cocaine. I'm worth $20 million. Whether Reebok takes away my birthdays or not, I'm going to party for a little while longer, let this shit settle down, see who wins. If it's Rumble, fuck it, I'm not coming back. If it's DC, all right, I'll whip his fat ass again. But I'm not so sure right now, so I'm going to take a year vacation and bang some white broads. Is that what you guys got from it? Because that's what I heard.
No, here's the thing too, because I listened to it because on Tuesdays is when I listen to most of the MMA podcasts. But I listened to it today, and I think I was tweeting you guys the entire time or talking to you guys about it. Like that was just so softball, it was horse shit. And I think we talked about it yesterday a little bit too. Fred, I mean, look, man, obviously if you're John Jones' manager, and you could pretend to be because you like dick riding a lot. If you're John Jones' manager, if you're John Jones' manager. Okay, you saw how he laid the foundation, right? Use your creativity right here, and what would you do to prepare the people for the return of John Jones? Would you be like Maki did it by saying, "Oh, we don't know if he's gonna come back," or would you outright say, "Yeah, he's gonna fucking come back"?
I mean, I guess it depends on what John actually told that dude. I mean, I guess it's his fucking manager, so you know he's gonna say that shit. You know he's gonna fucking paint John in the best light. You know he's gonna say that they shouldn't have took John's belt. Listen, man, this is what I fucking assume. Is John Jones going to fight again? Abso-fucking-lutely he's going to fucking fight again. That dude probably can't fucking give no guarantees on nothing, so why say he's going to fight again when he can't answer no questions behind that? You know what I mean? Like, if he says, yeah, he's going to fight again, when's he coming back? What's he doing? He ain't got no answers for any of that shit. So, look, is dude going to come back? Fucking yeah. Does he got to get his shit together? Sure. Suspended indefinitely. All that means is when DW feels like lifting it. Indefinitely could be fucking 2 weeks or it could be 3 years. Like,
right. Now we're gonna see how well oiled Kirby's dick saddle is right now. The biggest problem that I have with all of this situation is all these people saying they shouldn't have stripped the title. Why? Because he's the greatest athlete in the light heavyweight division? Okay, but this is a sport. You know what I mean? We have to have a champion. We can't have a champion that is indefinitely suspended from the sport in which that belt comes from. It was a no, you can't have it both ways. If he's indefinitely suspended, of course the belt goes with that. We have to have the champion. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. I've actually read on Facebook, people are like, well, yeah, it makes sense if they suspended him, but don't take his title. What do you think? It's just a belt that he gets to take home and polish? No, you stupid fuck. That means you're the best in the sport. You're the best in the promotion. We have to know who the best of the promotion is right now. I mean, all right, if he's suspended indefinitely, that would also mean, let's just say an off chance, that he passed away. Would we not take the belt from him then and see if there's somebody else? He's gone. For the time being, he's gone. So don't be fucking stupid. Of course, we have to find out, in lieu of John Jones, who is the best light heavyweight right now. Do I think he comes back and probably stomps him? There's a good likelihood of that, but until that happens, we can't have an interim champion. We can't have a champion who's suspended. So of course you have to vacate, take number 1 and number 2, and put the gold around somebody's waist. Am I wrong, Fred?
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, he should have got the belt stripped. You're right. They do have to take the belt. But on that token, you're a fool if you think it's anything other than an interim belt. You know, DC did the MMA hour today too, and I got to give it to fucking Helwani. He asked that dude, how are you going to feel about this belt if and when you win it? And the reality is, DC can think that belt's real, and every other fucking human on planet Earth can think that belt's real, but anybody in the know knows John Jones is the fucking champion. Is he all fucking coked out and having some issues right now? Yeah, but like, it's an interim belt. They don't got to call it that. The thing is, they can strip that belt from John Jones. In my eyes, it doesn't really mean nothing. Whoever's the belt wearer, whether it's AJ or DC, they are at best interim champ.
Okay, so is Robbie Lawler the interim champ?
No,
oh, no, I don't know. GSP left.
Yeah, no. GSP says he ain't coming back.
Nobody beat him.
But he's fucking retired.
Well, fucking John Jones is suspended indefinitely.
Okay.
Indefinitely means forever,
retired.
cocksucker.
He's coming back. George ain't. What the fuck? Listen, if George comes back, no. Robbie most certainly is not the goddamn champion. And don't kid yourself for a second if you think that if George does come back, he don't fight Robbie. And that's the point. When Jones does come back, he'll fight the winner, so...
I'll tell you what, George St. Pierre ain't coming back. And when he does, let me tell you what, people will be able to beat him this time around. There's a reason why he's not coming back. After that injury, after that groin injury, the reason why he's getting so big, the reason why he's avoiding the sport is he ain't what he used to be, guaranteed. And I got a little knowledge for you here, Fredo. We've talked about this before. And on my show, you agreed with me. I don't believe John Jones will come back the same man. I think if he does come back, he will be beatable.
You know what? If he comes back, I don't even think he comes back to 205. I think he just goes to heavyweight. I mean, all that time off is going to do something to him.
Why, you think he's going to be like lifting heavy weights in prison and shit?
Maybe. He's going to be there doing, hey, look, he's going to do something.
I'm looking for Kane. Where's Kane?
Everybody's looking for Kane. That fucker hasn't fought since 1997.
No one knows where he is, unfortunately. But
listen, John Jones is. I do think John Jones is going to come back, man. I do think that the dude's just got a lot of talent. I think he just fucking. He's like what's that fucking goofy show that used to come on VH1 behind the fucking rock star, whatever the fuck, behind the. He's that, man. John Jones needs one of those stories. He's a young fucking kid who rose to stardom quickly. Fucking got a shitload of money and just got carried away with the lifestyle. I think that John Jones can bounce back from this. Listen, John Jones didn't get caught fucking smoking crack with bottom dollar hookers. He wrecked this fucking big ass fucking expensive car, fucking drunk off Cavassier, smoking some Doja. He'll be all right, I think. I think he just got addicted to the lifestyle of money and shit, man.
You know, that was the most backhanded racist description I've ever heard in my life. Do you really think John Jones goes around with Cavassier? You really think that's what he was drinking? You always get on me about being racist.
Hey!
Talk about cliche.
Whatever. Maybe he was fucking drinking high-end scotch. The point is he wasn't drinking a laser and smoking crack. I'll bet you that. What the fuck? He's not a bottom dollar junkie.
I'm surprised you didn't say he was drinking Colt 45 and smoking Kush.
I was about to say that. Fuck it. We actually got some tweets here. GJS, who actually I talked to a lot, says Dana's indefinite means nothing. Rumble was never fighting again. After being cut for not making weight a bunch of times, and now he's fighting for the title. So the indefinite, his point is that the indefinite means nothing with Dana White.
Oh no, that's well known. Indefinitely means just give me a call when you want to come back.
Yeah, no, seriously, that indefinitely does mean that when Eddie, for the record, how do you say his manager's name? Say it.
Makikawa is what I heard. I think.
Makikawa.
Right?
What a fucking confusing name. When that fucking prick comes to Dana and says John Jones is ready, he's fucking been through rehab, he's got his shit together. And believe me, at this point, I think they will take it seriously. I think this time, when John Jones does come back, he will be ready. I don't think he'll be crashing any more cars when he finally fucking comes back to MMA.
Yeah, no, he better have calmed this shit down at that point. But, all right, well, let's talk about the whole 205 picture. Jones is out. DC and Anthony Johnson are fighting. Ryan Bader is left without an opponent, without a fight. and he actually went on Helwani's show and actually said that he thinks he deserves a title shot. Do you, for any reason, believe? We'll start with Aaron. Do you for any reason believe that Bader will ever fight for the title or should ever fight for the title?
Well, you informed me that he was on a winning streak.
4-fight win streak, all decisions, okay?
Yeah, and in his last performance, he did his wrestle fucking thing to OSP. You know, no. I don't know. I think he would have to have, I guess at this point, probably 2 outrageously impressive knockout performances where people actually change their opinion of him, because we do have some interesting light heavyweights. I think OSP is probably going to be in the mix for a title shot before Bader, even though he lost to Bader, because he's another one of those needle movers. I fucking hate that saying, but it's true. I mean, every time I hear that Ryan Bader is going to fight, I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, fuck. Here we go again. Here was a guy that used to have some potential. He almost reminds me of, like, Keith Jardine. You remember when people thought he was good? You know what I mean? It's one of those where I see Ryan Bader and I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know, either he's going to get knocked out and it'll be kind of funny, or he's going to wrestle fuck a guy for 15 minutes. You know, no. I can't understand the logic of these fighters. They don't make the matches. Joe Silva and Sean Shelby make the matches. So I'm not sure where the idea comes that they can sit with their manager and be like, you know what? A title shot was nowhere near me. No one ever said that I was in title contention. But since my opponent had to pull out and fight for the title, now I'm just going to sit tight until they give me a title shot. You might be sitting there and waiting a long fucking time, Ryan. Fight careers are only so long.
Yeah, and he understands that the fact that he doesn't actually finish any fights, and he hasn't had very many exciting fights at all, maybe 2 or 3, and usually it's with him getting knocked out. You know, so he knows he needs finishing. He knows he needs impressive showings. You know, Fred, do you think maybe because he's talking about waiting for a title shot, which I don't believe he deserves. I'm going to take it that Aaron doesn't either. Do you think that Ryan Bader deserves to wait for the winner of DC versus Johnson?
Sure. Yeah. No, fuck no. Who the fuck would want to watch Bader do anything close to fucking fight for the title, man? No, man. Not to be an asshole, but what even fucking makes him have the balls to think he deserves the wait? Does he really think that he was fucking supposed to win that fight against DC? He was a sacrificial lamb in Louisiana, in DC's home fucking state, man.
Yeah.
Like, could he have won? Sure, but he wasn't supposed to. Ryan Bader's not the guy that anybody wants to see at a fucking title shot except for his mama. No, Bader's not fun to watch fight, man. He's a very tough guy. But quite frankly, I think if Bader fucking loses one fight, he'll be fucking on the caboose with fucking Phil Davis over to Bellator, man. I think that, listen, would y'all care? All bullshit aside, if Bader went to Bellator, would it ruffle y'all's panties at all?
No, man, I got a big old list of guys that could go. Him and that fucking CBS Dalloway character, they can both take that naked chick they were posing with. See ya.
No, see, that's what I mean. And I'm not even fucking being cutesy at this point. If Bader went to Bellator and him and Phil Davis fucking hugged each other all night long over in Bellator, I could care a shit less, man. And I don't think I'm in the minority there. I think most people don't really care about Bader like that. Just real talk, they don't. Fuck. Some people like him. He's a tough, athletic guy, and he gets a knockout every once in a while. But all things considered, I don't think anybody is clamoring to see Ryan Bader fight, you know, either one of those guys for the belt, quite frankly.
Either one of those guys would destroy him anyway. I mean, what did he actually think he'd be able to wrestle fuck DC to a win? No. DC would do it to him. Does he think he'd be able to fight Anthony Johnson or even get him to the ground? No. Anthony Johnson will put him to sleep before he even shot for the takedown. Either way, you know, Bader's going to need a lot more impressive resume before he can even ask for a title shot. By the way, the balls to ask for a title shot, just like you were saying. Really, right. The balls to ask for it. Come on now.
Who do you think you are, Ryan Bader? I mean, like you said, dude moves, no needles. Any needle that got moved with their fight would have been a DC moving the needle. Like Bader, unless he's in Foxy from Arizona, Unless he's fighting in his own backyard. Dude's not selling a lot of tickets, man. He just ain't. He's not that exciting.
Yeah, I'd be more excited if he would change his nickname to Master.
I've been asking people, dude. I tweet that motherfucker once in a while and I say, dude, you need to change your middle name or your nickname to Master. It'd be way better. I bet the needle starts moving then. Somehow, for some reason, just out of being funny, and just out of that nickname being funny would have been great.
Okay,
I would record Bruce.
Wait, I just checked something out. Eddie said that he knocks people out every once in a while, so I looked. It's been since 2011.
Okay, never mind. He's got knocked out since then, though, right?
Well, yeah, fucking Lyoto Machida knocked him out. Glover Teixeira knocked him out. And then it's been decision.
Yep.
He sucked.
Fourth.
Yeah, so, all right. And as far as the 205 picture, I mean, you guys are talking OSP. Glover Teixeira has no fight now. Ryan Bader doesn't want to fight him. And now the main event in Louisiana, New Orleans, has since DC is no longer DC versus Ryan Bader, it is now Tim Boetsch against Hendo, Dan Henderson. And I feel like I'm already falling asleep watching that, just even thinking about that fight, really.
What the fuck, man? That was definitely a what the fuck moment. I hate to fucking shit on Tim. I hate to shit on the Barbarian like that, but I don't fucking know, man. I don't know, man. This is almost a bit like the Cerrone and McDessie fight. What the fuck does Henderson got to gain from this fight, man? I mean, if he comes out and straight trashes Boetsch, it's fucking Tim Boetsch.
Did you say what does he have to gain from this fight?
Who? Dan Henderson? Yes, I did.
Early onset Parkinson's.
No shit, right? I mean, if it goes wrong, it's a fucking career killer. It's kind of like Cowboy. If he fucking gets cute and McDessie knocks him out, that fucks him majorly. Now, at least with Cowboy, he can just be out of the title hunt. If Dan Henderson happens to get knocked out by the Barbarian, his career is over.
Should retire already. I don't think he should be fighting this one either.
See, that's the thing, though, Fred. His career is over.
Well, no, not technically.
Well, I mean, I actually imagine that they keep him in a chamber and like put jumper cables on his bolts. He fucking comes to life and put his fucking teeth in for a little while. He just does some wrestling until his juices get low. I mean, fuck, man. We're not talking about a guy who's like, say, Randy Couture, 41, 42, and still wowing us. He's getting to be 41, 42, and it's like Dan Henderson has got 4 good minutes in him. 4 good minutes. By the last minute of the first round, I start to grow concerned because I've got like a little paternal thing going on with him. He could be my grandpappy or something like that. So I start to worry about the old guy a little bit with his brittly bones and his teeth are already all knocked out and his eyes are starting to get crossed like a lot of these older fighters and stuff like this. Dan Henderson, all satire aside, I have the utmost respect for Dan Henderson and what he's done for the sport. But he's another one of these guys, man. I understand you want to compete. Go to Metamoris or Abu Dhabi or Roman Greco wrestling or freestyle wrestling or whatever. Just stop having huge men beat your face in. It's all done. You don't got a title run in you. You don't have a contendership run in you. And frankly, Joe Silva and Sean Shelby in UFC, shame on you for trying to convince us this is a main event.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it shouldn't be a main event at all. But actually, you brought up the word Metamoris, or the actual event is this weekend. Metamoris goes down on Saturday, May 9th. That's Saturday, yeah.
I heard it's like the Kumite now. You can't watch it or nothing.
You can't watch it. You can't go to it. You got to watch online. You can either buy the pay-per-view for $30 or sign up for a 3-month membership for $8.99 a month or a 12-month membership for like $7.99 a month, some bullshit like that. What in the hell is wrong with Metamoris right now? And you can start with Aaron if you want.
They want even less people to care.
That's what it seems like. I mean, look, this when it first came out, even the last 2, 3, 4, 5 events, they were all just. It was a big deal because jiu-jitsu has never been put on anything, anything like this. Tickets to go to that thing was $100 each. All right, and the front row I think was more expensive than that. So, you know, they don't have an audience. It's in a fucking closed set. You could only watch it on pay-per-view, and supposedly, and I think someone told me on Twitter, and I apologize if you're watching, and I don't remember who it was. It was saying that there's gonna be like these weird angles, new angles, and new different things and shit. It's oh, and they also do this whole thing now where they want to sign jiu-jitsu fighters to exclusive contracts. This shit's getting out of hand. I think they're trying to get too big too quick. Fred, what do you think of this shit?
Wait a second, before Fred gets off on his love train, the strange thing is to me it's like soccer because it can end in a draw. Yeah. I don't want to watch any sport ever that is a commonplace thing to end in a draw. I want a draw to be like a what the fuck, like somebody lost a point or something happened where a draw is a possibility only because a fluke happened. I don't want two guys to just fucking go at it forever and then just be like, well, I guess we're as good as each other. Handshake, go on your way. What the fuck was that about? What, are you just agreeing to disagree? I think I'm better than you, but I couldn't prove it this time, and neither could you. Oh, fucking great. Sign me up.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is kind of a major sticking point with Metamorphosis. It makes it kind of hard to get into because fucking, it can end in a draw, and that leaves a lot of people fucking unfulfilled. Some of the matches are really entertaining to watch, and then some of them are kind of shitty like that when it goes to a draw. The problem is, I think that jiu-jitsu will never really be a fan-friendly sport like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of want to make jiu-jitsu like appeal in this mass way to the masses, and it just never will happen. It's not the type of thing that's going to really get... Kickboxing, for some reason, can't get huge here. You would think, with all the fucking jerk-offs in this fucking country that go, just stand and bang, man.
I was waiting for that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that kickboxing would be fucking huge, and yet it's not. So if they can't find a way to mainstream fucking glory, believe me, the Gracies aren't going to mainstream jiu-jitsu with no matter how many fucking cutesy camera angles they use or how many fucking Kumite backdoor fucking tournament angles. It's not. It's a bad idea. They should have just kept it the way it was before, man. Bring over big names from MMA. Try to get dumbasses like me to actually care. Throw a couple mismatches in so that you can actually get some submissions, like fucking Josh Barnett and Dean Lister. Yeah, he submitted Dean Lister after 9 years. Josh Barnett's like 600 more pounds than Dean Lister. But whatever, Jack. You got your finish. What the fuck? Who cares, right?
Now, I want to make a distinction. You said that kickboxing can't catch on here. And that's because when people think of kickboxing, they think of silly little bastards who are mostly boxing, but they're wearing long pants and they have pads on their feet. That is still the idea of kickboxing in America. Now, I'll tell you what, the right organization gets a hold of a bunch of Thais and has some real Thailand kickboxing where in most of the matches somebody leaves in a stretcher. I'll bet you that shit catches on real fucking fast. Because how did the UFC start? It was one guy getting fucking wrecked by another guy in almost every fight. Some fat fucking sumo wrestler getting his fucking teeth kicked out by a dude who dropped him and then soccer kicked him in his face. Gary Goodrich fucking knocking the dog shit out of Herrera. Yeah. That's how the UFC, everybody's like, I gotta watch that shit. And they were kind of embarrassed about it too. They're like, you watch this UFC stuff? I would never watch that. Oh, no, me neither. And they're the fucking guys with a VHS tape putting it in going, look at this. Let me tell you what. If we could expose Americans to Muay Thai kickboxing and not Western kickboxing, I believe that would catch on. And for all the douchebags who just want to see people stand and bang. And I don't know why I have to always say douchebag and you have to say douchebag. You're on the show, too. So if we're referring to our show, Stand and Bang, that is most definitely not a douchebag crowd. But I'm just saying, if that's all you want to see is striking, watch Muay Thai. It's fucking exciting as hell.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with you. If they actually brought ties in, guys that are fucking throw like murderous elbows, and when they throw elbows, like I've seen a few of those on YouTube and shit. And when they throw elbows, man, it's with the meanest of intentions. They are not trying to do it as a sport. They're trying to kill motherfuckers. So yeah. I find that shit enjoyable as hell. But I think most of America will be appalled as hell. You get a bunch of senators and congressmen calling for the banning of Muay Thai. I mean, that's exactly what you would get. But yeah, you would. I mean, McCain was trying to fucking stop MMA. And now he's all about it. It makes no sense. But that's what politics. Politics in America fucking blow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, let's move on here to I had the notes written down and shit. This is so unprofessional. Oh, Dana White. I have notes. I had notes earlier. Like I said, I was talking to Fred before the show even started, before you even got on the show. Fucking, it's been a long ass day, Jack. I'm gonna say Jack. So Dana White has been trying to find a way to prevent injuries, right? He just called out AKA for being too harsh on their fighters with Khabib getting injured. Now, according to Daniel Cormier, Khabib got injured literally stepping back, and then he said, oh, something's wrong with my knee, right? Said it wasn't during sparring. Of course, we weren't there, so we'll never actually know the real story. But Dana White trying to find a way for fighters to not get injured anymore. I mean, he called AKA a caveman gym a while ago and all that shit. Fred, look, we already know that fighters spar too much. A lot of fighters spar too much. Guys like Robbie Lawler has stopped sparring almost altogether, right? Do you think there is a way to change or affect training in a way that you can avoid injuries to fighters?
Maybe. I think that some of the shit is unavoidable. You have to do wrestling drills, you have to drill takedowns, and you can get injured doing that shit, man. Do you have to fucking spar like you're Vanderlei in '92 and shoot box and beat the shit out of each other? Probably not. That's probably not conducive to a great camp. But, you know, like DC says, he feels like the only way to get ready for a fight is to fight. I do think there's some truth in that as well. You can't, you know, I don't know, when you're sparring, you got to have somebody that's actually trying to fucking mimic a real fight. You guys can't get in there and fucking cotton candy pussyfoot around the whole fucking time. So, you know, do I think there's a strategy that works for, like, everybody as a whole? No. There'll never be, like, one thing that every gym can do to get on the same page to where guys won't get hurt. But are there things they could do to tighten things up a little bit? Sure. You see some gyms make fucking really stupid mistakes just by overcrowding. There'll be way too many people on the mat, and next thing you know, somebody rolls into somebody's knee. Shit like that, yeah, could totally be avoided. Just, you know, get fuckers off the mat. But at a certain point, you know, at freak accidents and shit like that, man, nah, there's really, you gotta train hard to get ready for shit like this, man. So there's some of that shit is just fucking unavoidable, man.
Yeah, Aaron, what do you think on that? Do you think Dana White? Do you think we'll actually find a way to prevent injuries and still have fighters that fight at a high level?
I think Dana White spends more time in the chicken and waffle houses than he does in the gym, so he should probably shut his twat.
All right, then. Cool. Here's the thing too: is there are gyms that are still, you know, a little too harsh on their fighters, making them spar more than 2 to 3 times a week. But honestly, it's still up to the fighter. They can choose whether or not to spar. It's not like anyone's putting a gun to their head to do anything. But ultimately, you know, he's talking about looking at the NFL for cues on how to avoid injuries and all that shit.
Guys don't get hurt in sparring very often, though, do they? It's usually in like drills of some kind, like wrestling drills, shit like that, right? Like sparring isn't usually where guys hurt themselves, not ordinarily.
From what I understand, it's mostly wrestling.
Yeah. Right. Which makes sense. All the driving of the knees and all that shit with the trying to prevent the takedowns. I could just see a million different ways where you could fucking fall, you shift your weight wrong one way and fucking fall on your knee or something. So I could see that would be. But what the fuck, man? You gotta drill takedowns. There's no getting around it.
All right, now we've talked about a bunch of esoteric shit and some old news. Dana White talking about fucking. Don't we have an event? Don't we have UFC Adelaide this weekend?
We do, but I want to actually ask you guys something real quick, because actually you had Michelle Waterson on your show, right? She just signed on to fight at strawweight. First thought I have when I hear Michelle Waterson at strawweight is undersized maybe, and two, whenever a fighter comes in because I'm a big fan of Waterson, more than one reason, and you know, she's I don't know, I enjoy watching her fight and everything, but I immediately said, okay, how would she do against Johanna? All right, Aaron, you put Johanna in front of Michelle Waterson. What do you think happens?
All right, well, I'll answer both your questions because she actually answered one of them on Stand and Bang.
Yes.
She walks around 130 pounds. So she has to cut 15 to get the straw weight. And if you look at that as body weight percentage, like a lot of fans, when they hear, oh, a fighter only cuts 15 pounds, sure. If you're a light heavyweight who only cuts 15 pounds, that's not much. If you're a middleweight that only cuts 15 pounds, that's not much. If you weigh 130 pounds and you cut down to 115, that is a fucking huge cut. That's more than 10% of your body weight. It's like, what is that, 13, 15% of your body weight? Mm-hmm. That's a big cut. So do I think that she'll be undersized? Maybe in certain cases. But we also have to keep in mind that Jessica Penne is at straw weight, and Waterson already has an armbar finish over her. These women are older now. She's 30 years old. She carries more muscle. So undersized, no. I do believe that she's highly skilled. I don't like the idea of putting her up against Johanna because at this point, if Jedrzejczyk fights everybody like she did Carla Esparza, then I have a feeling that we're going to see Johanna be the champ for a while because just like in certain divisions, say John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, it seems to me that she's cut from a different cloth. Now, the Gadela fight, though, kind of makes me wonder. Did she just fight really, really well against Esparza? Because Gadela is more or less a fucking nobody. And she was able to take Johanna down and give her some trouble and arguably win the last round. Was it the last round?
I think so.
Yeah, so I guess it all depends. For me, my decision will have to be made after Jedrzejczyk fights Penne. If she fights her with the same ferocity and the same effectiveness that she fought Esparza, then no, I think that would be a bad matchup for Waterson right now. So time will tell. We have to see where Jedrzejczyk is.
Yeah, and well, okay, Fred, like with Waterson coming in at 115, obviously she fought at atom weight. We just talked about her being undersized, and Aaron made the point that only in certain matchups she's fighting Angela Magana. All right, just as soon as you hear that name though, and I listened to your guys' podcast, you both, mostly Aaron made he made that face, I bet, during the entire time we were talking about Magana. Magana talks a lot, but she hasn't been able to back it up yet. She goes to Thailand to train Muay Thai, and just like you said during your show, not very good. So when you heard about this matchup, Waterson Magana, what's your first thought?
Magana blows, and she's got a nice ass.
Now wait a second. I gotta say this before I forget. Have you guys seen The Water Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you just said that, it made me think of Bobby Boucher. What doesn't he say that Colonel Sanders talks a lot of shit but can't back it up or something?
I don't remember that. I'm about to look at it. Oh shit! All right.
Listen, man. I think Magana. Honestly, I think this is a great fight. A great fight to match up by Joe Silva or Sean Selby, whoever does the lower weight classes. Sean Selby, I think. Nobody really likes Magana, right? I mean, short of her sending out fucking tweeting pictures of her fucking ass and a few fucking pervy horn dogs getting a little joy out of that, I don't think too many people out there love Magana. Michelle Waterson, on the other hand, I think people really love. She's sweet, she's nice, she's gorgeous, and she's a fucking great fighter. So, yeah, let's have the karate hottie shit stomp silly ass Magana. Make everybody happy. The thing I was going to say about the matchup is I think we need to see both of those fights. I would like to see Michelle Waterson compete at strawweight, and even though Magana is a bit of a shitbird, at least she's a human body. So we can get her in there, we can let her compete at 115, and if she just comes out and straight thrashes Magana, which I'm sure most of the universe hopes she does, and then say Jedrzejczyk doesn't necessarily, who knows, maybe she loses, or maybe it's a very close fight. The thing with Jedrzejczyk is I think that everybody has a good night. And I'm not going to say that was like a great night with her with Carla Esparza, but maybe it was. Every great fighter has had an off fight. John Jones had the Gustafsson fight. Anderson got smashed out by Weidman. No matter who you are, whether you have an off night or a bad night or whatever, I think to say that any one champion is just going to do X and X to everybody is kind of silly. Who knows, man? Jiu-Jitsu could very well have an off night, and the Karate Hottie could have a very on night, and anything could happen. But I would like to see both of their next fights, see how Watterson acclimates herself to 115, and see if Jiu-Jitsu can really, repeat that performance from last time and really solidify herself as a scary, scary individual.
I want to bring something up because we had Dave Madden, one of the guys that writes articles from our podcast, ask us about Magana. And right away, I started with the cunt and all this because, she is. But I went over to her Twitter to see if she was actively shitting on Watterson, which she's not, which is smart because I don't think people will support her in that. But people have been supporting her. She said something about a robbery just like my last fight. And I'm not joking, you guys. There was like 15 people who jumped on that and were like, yeah, you got robbed.
Wow.
Okay, now this is what I want to bring up. Because there's another fighter over on Facebook. You guys know who Norman Park is, right?
Yep.
Sure. Stormin' Norman.
Stormin' Norman, who got his ass beat by Gleison Tebow in his last fight. Now, he's coming back, and that's fine. I got no problem with Norman Park. I do have a problem with these fuckers fishing for these ignorant lemmings. I got robbed in my last fight. And then people are like, oh, yeah, you sure did. You sure did. And then Stormin' Norman's over. You don't understand what went into that. I had the flu. And then I got a bad IV. And then I strained my vaginal, and I fell out of my car. And it started sounding like a fucking Jerry Bruckheimer movie, like, what's going to happen next? You know what? You fucking lost. And then I look at the 133 comments, and everybody's like, yeah, Norman, you're the best. Yeah, not one of you fucking nutless cocksuckers was just like, really, Norman? Shut up. You had the flu. You had a bad IV. Guess what? You had a bad fight.
You know what?
How about we stop talking about it? Who even fucking remembers that you fought Gleison Tebow? The only person is Gleison Tebow.
I gotta say, I almost call bullshit on a lot of this shit. Since we're on the topic, I'm gonna tell you something. Half the times these guys get nut shots, I call bullshit. I've been kicked in my nuts before, and I tell you what, I need at least 5 minutes. When you get kicked in the jewels real good, you don't fucking shake your cock off a little bit and go right back to action 36 minutes. Not if you really get kicked in your nuts, you don't. These fucking guys.
Who's been kicking you in your balls?
I'm fucking saying it's happened before. I know the pain that happens.
Okay.
You get kicked in your nuts, it fucking hurts bad. You don't go right back to action 2 minutes later. So obviously those guys are full of fucking shit at that given moment.
Or they're wearing a steel cup.
And either way, they don't need to halt the action and look at their dick and go, ooh, it didn't fucking hurt. You're fine. Keep fighting.
No, but I'll tell you something. It's because it shifts, Kirby. And the funniest thing that happened in the last Bellator event, don't know if you watched it or not, Ill Will Brooks, who will be joining Stand and Bang at the end of the month, he got kicked in the jewels. Big John pulls him to the side, gives him 5 minutes, and just barely on Big John's mic, you hear Ill Will say, "It caught my dick."
Oh no! I watched the fight. I didn't even hear that, dude. What the fuck? Oh, that's up. All right.
I think the motherfuckers embellish that shit sometimes, and they try their best to get a few extra minutes when they're clearly not. Some guy, who was it that got kicked in the fucking nuts here recently, and he fucking was in agony.
Are you talking about the real big guy?
Fuck, I forget. Somebody got clipped in the jewels, and they hit the fuck. I think the fight got ended. It was fucking bad, and you knew it.
No, it was like super heavy, or not super heavyweights, but as big as it was Prindle, Eric Prindle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. The point is, when you really get kicked a fucking good shot in the nuts, man, you know it. Like, yeah, if your cup shifts, okay, you need 5 seconds to shift your cup back, but you got these guys dancing around and throwing their leg up and shit. Bullshit. You don't dance around and do yoga stretches when you get kicked in your fucking nuts. You fucking hit the canvas.
You don't do yoga stretches when you're trying to get your nuts to stop hurting?
Yeah, no. Ironically enough, I've been kicked in your nuts, and no, you don't fucking do that shit. Fucking guys with their tricks.
Yeah. You go fetal position, you cry for a little bit. All right, that's kind of what happens.
Right.
Anyways. All right. So as Aaron brought up, there is a card this weekend in how do you say the city's name? How do you say it? Adeline?
Damn. He didn't like that question, did he?
What the fuck is happening?
That was fucking scary, Jack. He was just like, shafoof. Like, he fucking... Aaron didn't want no questions about Adelaide. That's how you pronounce it, if I'm not mistaken. It's
Adelaide. He's like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
That camera fucking dipped off. Adelaide, my ass. Okay,
Right, well,
Adelaide. What? You got the card pulled up?
I do, actually. Hang on, I'm screen sharing it in a second. But going down, main event, of course, is Stipe Miocic against Mark Hunt. But let's really quick run down the card. Oh, what the fuck? How do you even bother to say that name? God damn. Alpatine, the Turkish guy against Ben Nguyen. You got hit up?
He said he's fucking toast. Yeah. What are we gonna do? We're just gonna break down this card and then we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, tell him he wants to try to come back, but just tell him we're about to just run down the card and be done. So if he wants to come back, you should try.
Yeah, you can. At least, yeah. Who gives a fuck about this shit? These fucking.
All right, quick. I care about this one because Kalen Curran is hot as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kalen Curran against Alex Chambers. Watch that for sure. Another good. Oh, of course, this is your favorite right here. Beck Rollins taking on Lisa Ellis.
Hey now.
If there was a fight,
God. Lisa Ellis was the fucking chick that really fucking looked uninspiring on Tough, right?
Yeah, she was missing her kids and she didn't want to be on and shit. But
I think Beck Rollins will win.
Yeah, but she also got massive camel toe in that picture. That's what it looks like anyway.
There's that.
Your guys' boy who has been on Standing Bank Radio, Smiling Sam Alvey taking on Dan Kelly. And leading off the prelims, Hatsu Yoki against Dan Hooker. Great last name.
Yeah. So I actually like Smiling Sam in that fight, and I like Hyoki too.
Yeah, Hyoki's the shit, dude. Not a lot of people even fucking bother watching him because he's not a big fucking American name. But kicking off the main card is James Vick against Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews, the Australian, I believe he was on that on the Tough with the Australians and the Canadians, whatever. Sean O'Connell against Anthony Perosh. Hippo, exactly. And then co-main is Brad Tavares against Robert Whitaker. And the main event, really the only fight that honestly, in my opinion, matters.
Yeah, Jesus, this card is pretty fucking weak overall, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the only fight that really matters on this whole card, Stipe Miocic against Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt, I mean, I don't see him ever getting back to a title. He's just a guy that you want to watch smash somebody. And Stipe Miocic is coming off that fight against JDS. And he still looks impressive. He fucking, people always talk about his chin being suspect. Not so suspect against JDS, and JDS has massive knockout power. Now he's taking on a guy with who I argue has even more knockout power in Mark Hunt. Who's going to sleep in this one?
I gotta go with the Ohio boy, man. I like Stipe in this fight. I think this is a fight to try to keep Stipe relevant. Like you said, I don't think that Mark Hunt's going to be making any title run soon. Quite frankly, at this point, I think everybody has gotten way more than their money's worth out of Mark Hunt. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really expect that damn dude. There we go.
I got it.
There you go. Yeah, we didn't expect Mark Hunt to really do much of anything anyways, man. There was a time when that damn dude was not even going to fucking make it to the UFC or even fulfill his contract. So, you know, I think that if he does lose this fight, even though it's fucking is it New Zealand or Australia or wherever?
Australia, I think.
Yeah, so it's like somewhat in his backyard. I think even if he does lose this fight, it's not the worst thing for him. He's had a great career. He's not going to get the title. I don't know if Stipe can either, but I think Stipe is a lot, better of a prospect and has a lot better of a shot at actually doing something towards a title than Mark Hunt does at this point. So,
yeah, and I think for me, it's just getting Mark Hunt back on TV and yeah, man, this card, other than, to me, in my opinion, the Kalen Curran fight and the Sam Alvey fight and the Hyoki fight and the Mark Hunt fight. Other than that, the whole card's really, really light on even fights that anyone really cares about. So, I wonder if Aaron's gonna try and get back on. Yeah,
we'll give him a couple more minutes and then we'll just fucking.
All right. Meanwhile, let's what else want to bring up? Would you actually even bother watching a Floyd Manny Pacquiao too?
Nah, hell nah, man. Hell nah. That shit is fucking dead. I would never watch Floyd do anything again, honestly. So, I mean, real shit, I'm not even gonna go to a friend's house. I won't watch his next fight, period. Why would I, man? It was boring as fuck. Like, boxing is kind of boring in general, just to paint it with a broad brush. But then when you got two boxers like that, dog, it is just tedious at this point. There's no reason to watch that fight again at all. But here's a better question. Is it the biggest flop ever? Like, for as much hype that went into that fight, was that the worst fight of all time in comparison to what motherfuckers have been, like, waiting for or expected? Like,
I would say so.
I kind of think so, man. I mean, you know, all the other, at least big boxing matches, man, usually when boxing does have a big fight like that, it actually is pretty fucking good. Like you had Rashad and Rampage in MMA. They had this major lead up, and then the fight kind of stunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was this great fight, and it was kind of weak, low key. Usually in boxing, you know, with Ali and Frazier and shit, when them motherfuckers would have like big fucking crazy fights, at least the fights would be fucking fun, man.
Yeah, and actually GJS telling us about Adelaide, saying he used to live in Adelaide. Awesome place, great people. Never been to Australia. Either of you guys ever been there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I want to go there one day. The only problem I have is I don't like spiders, and they're giant fucking spiders over there. So I'd be like smashing motherfuckers at all times.
All right, so I can see that I didn't miss nothing.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. Real quick, off that Adelaide card, Aaron, what fight are you looking forward to the most?
What fight am I looking forward to the most?
On the Adelaide card.
Probably. Is Jake Matthews fighting there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jake Matthews against
whoever. Yeah, whoever he's fighting.
Sam Alvey's on that card too.
All right, well I'll be looking forward to that. Hey, you know what? And honestly, I like Stipe Miocic quite a bit.
Right.
So, who did you guys pick in that one?
Stipe. Come on.
I'm taking Mark Hunt with a bomb.
I
like Stipe a lot.
I don't think he can get it done. Stipe's too quick.
He's been working with his new friend or his new mentor in goddamn, what's the Crow Cop?
No, Crow Cop brought Stipe in, not the other way around.
I know. Well, yeah, but I said he's working with his mentor. That's all I said.
Mark Hunt is too slow. I actually think that Stipe has a real good shot of stopping him.
Does home field advantage matter at all in MMA? Like, does it even matter if you're fighting in your hometown at all? Should we put any stock into that whatsoever?
No, this isn't basketball where it's the same hoop you shoot in every fucking day for practice. It's a fucking cage. A cage is a cage no matter where it is.
Well, you know, that sometimes it's true if there's altitude, if there's heat, humidity that you're not used to, but these guys go there and they acclimate for a long time. You know what I mean? It's not like they get off the plane, go way in, sleep one night, and then they fight. You know, he's probably been in Australia for a while. So, no, I don't think that plays much into it. I think what plays more into it is that Mark Hunt is kind of like I don't want to say a sideshow fighter, but what the fuck? Did I just disappear again?
No, you're here.
My computer's doing all sorts of crazy shit. It's not that Mark Hunt is a sideshow fighter or anything like that, but I mean, arguably, Stipe Miocic should be looking at a title shot here pretty quick in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Real quick before we end the show here, what was I going to say? Damn it, now I fucking forgot. Oh, yeah. Okay, you know how you were talking about you have someone that writes stories off your podcast? Joe Rogan has everybody writing stories on his podcast. And recently, he talked to this guy, Sam Harris. They were talking about head trauma. And Joe Rogan said there's a possibility. He didn't completely say this was exactly what it was. He said there's a possibility that head trauma is possibly what might have led John Jones basically led to John Jones' behavioral problems. While that is a possibility, I mean, couldn't John Jones be a fucking asshole? I mean, isn't that possible?
I don't buy into that shit at all from Joe Rogan because we've already talked with fighters, and it's coming out more and more that he's been this dickhead since college. So you're telling me that he had brain trauma before he started fighting?
Yeah, it's also a possibility that I'm a motherfucking alien. I mean, anything's possible, Jack.
Well, I do think you're a Wookiee.
Yeah. No, fucking John Jones does not. You know, listen, man, I fucking like Joe Rogan. Let me preface this by saying that I like Joe Rogan. I do fuck with him. I think he's funny, and I think he is one of the best in the business as far as fucking commentating on MMA goes. But no, that is fucking silly. John Jones is not out fucking banging strippers and doing blow and crashing his car in the middle of the night because he's a fighter and has brain trauma. That's fucking absurd. If not, everybody in the UFC would act like an asshole, right?
You know, he's got to do that because he was one of the first proponents of that. You know, he went and he talked with this, what was it, the neurobiologist or something like this, and it changed his whole thought process, and he started making on-it bars with mushrooms in them and all sorts of shit like that. So, I mean, that's kind of like his thing. That's how he got away with just straight fucking up Brendan Schaub on a public forum. You're not an elite. You're not an elite martial artist. I mean, really, Brendan, fucking serious? You ain't gonna make a run for a title. And then Brendan Schaub was like, no, seriously, and Joe's like, nah, you ain't.
Yeah, I know.
And then he was like, I'm only saying this to protect you, not because it'll be our highest rated show ever. I'm only saying this to protect you because now everybody's got brain trauma because Joe Rogan suffered some brain trauma. So you talk about what you know. You know, that's why he talks about drugs. He knows that. That's why he talks about comedy. He knows that. And apparently he had some sort of brain trauma. So he knows about that. So, of course, he's going to go on to that train of thought. But just like what Kirby got done saying, well, then fuck, man. Everybody who's 5 years into their fight career should be fucking doing some crazy, like they should all be kleptomaniacs or all have, you know, like some weird hoarding disease or some shit because they got their screws knocked loose. No, I don't buy that for a second. I do say that is the behavior of somebody who is struggling with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would agree with that too.
I tell you what, as much as I like Joe Rogan and as much as I can't really stand Brendan Schaub, if I was Brendan Schaub, I'd be like, hey, fucking Joe Rogan.
Did you just call him Brendan Schwab?
Yeah.
I think it's Brandon Schaub.
Oh, all right, Jesus Christ, with the Brandon Schaub. Jesus Christ, Mr. Harvard. Either way, the point is, I wouldn't have let Joe Rogan talk to me like that. I'd be like, Joe, I might not be an elite heavyweight, but I'll bet you I can kick your ass. So let's establish that for all your fucking cute little cocksucker fans that are listening. If me and you go out in the parking lot, I'm going to give you some brain trauma, Joe, and you won't be so fucking funny.
He fucks with him quite a bit because at one point, Schaub was talking about moving down weight classes, and Joe was like, what's your body fat right now? And Brendan was like, I think it's like 16 or something like that. And he's like, really? 16? Because I'm about 14. And looks like you carry a lot more than 16% body fat. Just straight fucking with him. I was like, God damn, Joe. Pick on somebody else.
No shit.
Oh, man. All right. And then one more tweet here. GJS saying Hunt is going to KO Stipe. But, of course, he's a hometown boy, so he's going to back up Mr. Mark Hunt.
Check his fucking handle and see where he's from.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not like Mark Hunt doesn't have ridiculous knockout power, and it isn't like Stipe Miocic hasn't been caught. I mean, fuck, man. Struve knocked him out.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility. I just wouldn't put money on it.
All right. Well, if we said anything on this show that pissed you off, all three of us have brain trauma, so fuck you. You can go ahead. Anyway, thanks for joining me. You can follow Mr. Kirby at Kirby_MMA and at Gem City Fighting. Aaron Robbins is at Stand N, the letter N, Bang on radio, on Twitter.
You know what? Just don't fuck with Twitter. If you don't want to follow me on Twitter, fine. Go to the fucking website, standandbangmma.com. The next thing that you're going to see from Stand and Bang, and Eddie, you were pretty excited about this. I know Kirby is too. We got a new graphics person. And so check out the new banners that are coming out. Go to the website. We got a banner up there. Our Twitter has changed, Stand and Bang Radio. Facebook, everything now. We got a graphics person. So at least we look like we have a big boy show. And next week is Rocky Pennington.
Yep.
And, you know what? The Rocky Pennington is a good interview. She's actually a lot of fun. We talked to her before, so it's pretty cool. But definitely, Stand and Bang. Huh?
You talked with her?
Me and John a long time ago.
Oh, forget it then. I'm not doing it.
Overlap. All right. Anyway, like you said, you can get all their episodes and everything. They just did one with Michelle Watterson and Jorge Masvidal. Great episode. Listen to it today. Good job, fellas. Go to standandbangmma.com. Like they were saying, the logo's badass. All right. I was like, dude, that's probably the best logo you guys could come up with. So great job on that. And obviously, you can follow me at Elaw31, crossbonesmma.com. And for the hell of it, Nick Pilecki at Nick X Micro. Real quick, before we go off the air here, what do you think Nick Pilecki says about John Jones in your best Nick Pilecki voice? Aaron.
My voice don't go that high, man, so I'm just going to have to say it in my voice.
What does Nick Pilecki have to say? Oh, man, I'm so happy that asshole got stripped of his title. He deserves everything he gets. I hope that his manager bends him over and fucks him in his ass.
He's the angriest, nicest guy on the planet when it comes to John Jones. That's a fucking thing with him.
Perfect.
All right, fellas, thanks for joining me. Everyone have a good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Later.